May 23rd, 2026. Well, a lot of things going on, of course. I think we've noticed in one area that there's been a little bit of a pushback against President Trump by his own party with the outcome of Congress this week failing to pass the reconciliation bill that would have funded all the immigration activities. And apparently it all got hung up over things like the ballroom security, which I don't think was to actually do the ballroom itself, although that's in the air, but also the fact that there was a fund that was basically designed to pay some compensation to people that were considered to be victims of Biden, let's say, misutilization of the Justice Department to persecute people who they didn't agree with. And there was some, if you will, political warfare, lawfare of that sort going on during that period. As I understand that this, and I think this is relating to a lot of actions that have been going on. There is a lot of concern, obviously, on the part of the people that are facing election this year, that they're going to face a pretty bad situation looking at Trump's polling numbers. And increasingly, we're even seeing some bad numbers in the generic ballot that we didn't see before. And of course, consumer confidence is hitting all-time lows, and that's kind of weird. I mean, what's really wrong, I would have to say, but nonetheless. So, at any rate, all in all, I think that it led to a situation where they saw a chance to push back. Another thing, I think they may be on the Senate side they're probably very upset about him endorsing Paxton over Cornyn in the Texas primary. I mean, after all, Cornyn was a very well-established conservative senator with long standing, and Paxton is a very troubled individual with a lot of ethics issues, I think. And an interesting question, however, he did beat Bush for the nomination a couple of years ago for the Attorney General, and won the election. So in Texas, he may or may not be able to win. There's a pretty flaky Democratic opponent that's coming up, so that may save the day, if you will. But at any rate, I think that's what's led to that kind of situation, and hopefully a little recess and everybody cools off a bit. We'll see. Usually Trump has had a pretty good track record in primaries of getting the person nominated that he wanted. So we'll have to see how that plays out when they get back in June. Maybe leaving these extraneous issues out of the picture. Maybe we can get things worked out on the immigration and border security issue. If you like these videos, please give me a like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and you can also follow me on Rumble if you prefer that site. Yeah, so that's kind of the way that's playing out for the moment. We'll have to see just kind of if we can get things stabilized. And I think there's a lot of discontent, and of course a lot of it has to do with the situation with the ongoing conflict with Iran, which seems as if the administration's stuck in a position where it really doesn't know quite what to do. And I think that's been the problem here. At one hand, they are ready to launch another series of major attacks, and then when they get ready to do it, apparently immediately get appeals from the various allies in the and then such as Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Qatar. Please don't do this, because the fact of the matter is, of course, that the Iranians do have residual missile capabilities and drones, which could do a lot of damage, particularly to the remaining oil infrastructure, of course, which is pretty substantial, and their desalinization plants, which could actually leave people in a very bad situation without enough water. And that could lead to mass deaths in a worst case scenario, of course. And there's no real clear-cut viewpoint that we can actually prevent significant damage there. On the other hand, we can inflict incredible damage on Iran, but there's no clear-cut knowledge of whether or not that would lead them to actually ante up the said uranium hexafluoride that we're looking for. So, and of course agree to all the other terms that we have. We have both sides are pretty far apart. There has been some negotiations, I guess, with some Kuwaiti that's been trying to help out somewhat, but again, we'll see how close they are. They're really far apart. I mean, we basically want the free flow of transportation through the international Strait of Hormuz, and we want them to give up their nuclear capabilities. I think we probably want them to give up a lot of ballistic missile capabilities too, and well, that's a pretty tall order when we haven't been able to actually bring them into complete submission yet. So we'll have to see how that pans out. Everybody seems to think another attack will be happening at any moment, and I would have thought it would have happened by now, and maybe it will happen at the time you see this video. But that's kind of how that's going. On a more positive side, I guess there's been another tranche of the UAP files being released, which there's some interesting material in it. A CIA report, a couple of CIA documents, I guess this time. Again, nothing from within inside what I call the program, I don't think. But there's also some other IR type, videos. And in fact, I just saw a thing on Coldhart's presentation with some experts. I think what the experts should have said, what I'm about to say, which is, with all the metadata redacted, you don't really know the field of view that you're looking at. So the thing could be moving along at like a balloon being blown by the wind, in which case we might conclude balloon. On the other hand, if the field of view was much bigger and the thing was really moving at 300 miles an hour, then you would probably say not balloon. It's probably something else. So, and we don't really have with these releases the metadata which will let us make that determination. Nor is there any real analysis being put out with it as to what the Aero group really determined about it. Are these really Aero, unidentified that they can't resolve, or are they ones that are not fairly easily resolved? I saw one of the ones that Jeremy Corbell was absolutely saying this had been determined as UAP with instantaneous acceleration. And they're thinking, well, maybe it's they just lost track of it and it's just some anomaly of the camera. Well, I would think that the insiders could go find out who the operator was and ask these questions, but we don't have access to that information. But anyway, it's an interesting set, and all those interested should check it out, of course, as always, at war.gov/UFO, where they post these things, and kind of interesting. So anyhow, that's kind of the situation we have right now, and I'll as always, post this on YouTube and Rumble, and the address of my social media accounts will be in the description below. So all for this time.